Hello again! Today guys, we're going to be going over gesture drawing. Now that we have touched on some great figure drawing resources, let's deep dive into some practices to help you with your figure drawing. So we're going to highlight gesture drawing. So gesture drawing is, I think, a term a lot of artists have heard before, but we don't necessarily know exactly what this is or have really tried and used this practice much yourself. It's kind of a forgotten section of drawing, or at least it's not a very talked about one, but it is a very helpful practice. We're going to go over exactly what gesture drawing is and how it's going to help you in your art. And now I've also listed some of my favorite resources and books in the description below. Make sure to check those out. If this video interests you, those will definitely help you dive further into gesture drawing. So, what is gesture drawing? Gesture refers to the movement between things. It's about that motion as opposed to just reproducing the subject and drawing that contour and outline of the model. They're very quick and loose drawings, generally of people, but it can be applied to animals and landscape as well. It's about focusing on the movement in that subject and telling the story of the model as opposed to just reproducing them and all the details there. Let's go over some of these key elements then. Gesture drawing is highlighted by the dynamic lines by far. You're drawing only with C curves, S curves, and straight lines to help you simplify the form. And you're focusing on that overall form, the whole picture. It's highlighting the line of action and exaggerating the pose you're seeing to push that line of action to the forefront. They're typically very quick sketches, starting at 30 seconds on a pose, working your way up to 20 minutes on one. So now let's look at a few of these key elements in play. Here are a couple of my own gesture drawings. Starting on the right here, we can see a very strong line of action carrying from that foot up to the head in this nice C curve. That's our overall flow, but you can also see throughout these smaller S curves pushing and pulling the eye through the body and balancing each other out, going up that calf, the thigh, then the long back curve and being balanced by his lifted leg, and some of those in the arm holding that foot as well. This was a bit more of a balanced one, a lot more equalizing curves with that shoulder into the small of the back, that forcefully pushing in but then being carried or balanced right out by her leg swinging forward. Then again we have that other leg starting just with her base kind of flowing forward, while the leg then curves back against that first curve, even down into that arm that's reaching forward, is slowing down, mirroring the curve of the back, and then balancing out against the leg here. So now that we know what gesture drawing is, let's dive into actually drawing it. If you want to try out gesture drawing yourself, which I would highly recommend, here are some of my tips and tricks to help you get started and get into it. Much of gesture drawing is about your approach to the model and to the pose. Find that line of action first. Pick out the most expressive curve or just that biggest curve in the body that you see first and put that down onto paper. That is usually going to be your line of action, or at least closely tied to your line of action. And from there, start pulling out the opposing curves. The body is made up of opposing curves carrying the motion in the body. So if you can follow this, you'll be able to really capture that well. Also, I would definitely recommend jumping right in to these quick 30-second drawings of the poses. I think a lot of people, that seems very intimidating for me starting out. It definitely was, but that is a very important aspect to gesture drawing, is that they're meant to be quickly done, a lot in a row, just go, get it on the paper. The speed just as much as doing the drawing, I think, is what nails home the lesson to gesture drawing, is to look at a pose and be able to quickly identify your line of action, your motion. And the more you do this, the easier it's going to get, the more you're able to train your brain just in all your art to quickly look at something, find that main motion to start from, and most importantly, just keep with it. Gesture drawing is a practice for artists to improve. It's a practice, it's a training thing. It's not actually really about the finished product. This isn't going to be artwork you're displaying. This is just meant to help you improve and get better. So the more you do it, the more you do it consistently, the more it will actually help you and you'll see the results. So that is our just quick dive into gesture drawing. Be sure to share any of your gesture drawings with me. I love seeing how different people approach poses. And let me know if you want more on gesture drawing or just more general figure art drawing help as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.